Well, Rowan, so today we are going to go and see the mill. This gorgeous piece of historic evidence of the flax industry is something I proudly acquired to develop and redevelop into 4 beautiful properties with the historic edge that it always had. So we're traveling to the far side of Newry, between Newry and Renovation, to take a look at this gorgeous building. I want you to look at all the detail that's in the building and how much we're going to do to redevelop it. It's an exciting new project. The first of our episodes is to clear the entire area and make sure that we clear all the weeds so we can see its truest beauty. That will be done in a couple of weeks when we will return to the property. Yeah, so come with me. We're gonna do this together. You're gonna see this from day one, see this journey for the next 3 years. Here we have one of the most exciting projects of my time. I acquired this 6 months ago. It's an 1800s mill for the flax industry in Ulster during that time. The restore cost will be phenomenal, but I believe this is something I must do myself in order to keep and maintain its history in Ireland. It's easy to pull stuff down, but this project is now mine. It's under my protection, and I intend to make beautiful, livable homes from this at affordable prices for my clients. The house itself, the buildings themselves will be turned and converted into 4 properties. 4 properties dotted on all 4 corners of the acreage. They will have their own individual private area, but ultimately here will be their front entrance gate. I intend to put a big black iron gate on this property with a beautiful arch. If you come with me, we'll be able to show you around what we're doing so far. I only acquired this girl, I would say 5 months ago, for the price tag of £135,000. 135 grand plus fees, of course, and we pulled it out on our first day. Premises used to have tenant or people living on the premises. They were old and infirm. We moved them to one of our rental properties until they got their lives sorted, and then we pulled out their caravans and we done a few burns, etc. You see the videos. There are other videos of that. But when we started doing this, and we started pulling this girl apart, we noticed so much more in this girl, and I'll show you. Here is the building, the first ever building that was built on the land. It was the first of the 2 mills that are here. This is the original watermill house. Up above is where they done the flax work. In there is where they lived. I've got papers that showed there was a family of 5 lived up there, and they worked in the mill from as young as 6. And down below is where the watermill housing is, and I'll show you here. So this gigantic hole in the wall is actually where there was a phenomenal water wheel. I assume it was made from wood. I still got to get information from that, but there was a housing here. It's been bricked in, but there was a housing that held a gigantic wheel here, and as you can see up above is where the water came in. It didn't come from below, it came from above, and they used height to pull the water in above that stone, between that stone and this stone, to push the water this way. As you can see, there's a reservoir, flood reservoir there. This actually drained out into a sub-drain. If you want to have a look down there, there's a sub-drain that drained underneath here, all the way underneath the building, straight out to there. So there is a massive underground tunnel made of granite, Mourne granite. So if any of you know Game of Thrones, where they done the filming is where they got the stone. Here's the Mourne granite here. Giant big, I think it's basalt stone. Gorgeous big things. Massive big, we got loads of them over there. And they were carved back in the 1800s and then placed here. As you can see here is a sub-water chute. So I assume there used to be more water wheels here, smaller ones. Because if you can look here and here, there was something steel pinned to here. Of course, this is gone, but I also note this. These big slabs down here. There was a gigantic housing here. There's another 2 pins here. There they are there. That probably held some sort of machinery that was linked to the main water house here, over there. So there was a chute came down here from the same water supply up the hill that shot down here, shot up there, and moved machinery. I haven't got to as far as up here. However, I do believe that there were most likely some sort of machinery that were belts and pulleys that moved these wheels upstairs to the production area. Now, how do I know it's a production area upstairs? Well, I have looked at the latest information. Number one, is if you look over there, up here, just by the roof, there's a little tiny hole. Couldn't understand what it was for, and I thought, let's look into that. So, round here, there is a big giant chute. I can't show you. Lots of nettles. They've just overgrown overnight. So have they. We pulled this only 3 months ago and it's all overgrown again. So we need to get the diggers in to remove it again. But over there, that used to be where the waste was disposed of, out the back and into this yard. Over here, if you have a look, there was another contraption, again, mechanical, that was laid in here to turn, because if you have a look here, more bolts, and another housing that was here. Held another machine that most likely went up, and it was used for thrashing the flax into cotton threads, which then was turned into linen. The linen was transported up to Lisburn, to a beautiful mill up in Lisburn. Still around, sadly going to waste like this building, but still around. And as you can see, upstairs, there was some sort of fireplace up there. They probably lit a fire. We noticed there was a temporary chimney put up there. This is all to be replaced and repaired and restored. I intend to do what they refer to as hot lime. So I done a training course on hot liming. Didn't know anything about it before, but now I do. We're going to replace the mortar. We're going to get this building all back to its original facility with its original lime. We have to send samples off to a company in Scotland who will tell me the exact gradient of that sand so I can get it again and replace it like for like. It's not what I have to do. There's no requirement for me to do that. But you know what? I want it right. I want this building perfect, the way it should be, the way it used to be. The ground sadly has to be dug out purely because of modern living. We can't afford to have just stone down on the muck because of dampness, etc. There's new laws has to be passed for that. This gorgeous arch. Look at this, the monolith of an arch made of red brick. Now, I do know that this was an after effect. This was built after the main building was built. I do believe that this arch was done during the reconstruction or the new construction of the steam turbine. But this girl was cut out with its stone and replaced with brick as an arch to extend the working area to what is now, I believe, I don't know, but I believe this used to be the living quarters of the staff. This and just this above it. Not very formidable. However, if you come with me and I'll show you, there's a doorway here, just here, that went above into the work area. So I assume, I can't bet on it, I'm trying to get people in to tell me the best. I'm making a lot of assumptions on this video. But my assumption's based on outside here, on a wall here, down below there's a little sand pit. And in there, we've got the metal detectorists in. They found a beautiful little tin soldier and a tin horse, dated around roughly about the 1800s. So a kid played out here, outside of this building. There were doors here. They've been blocked up by the previous owner. That's going to be reopened. Look at these beautiful granite. More granite again. Look at these massive monoliths. Heads. That's what we used to do before. Whether we can keep them now, I don't know. Regulations may ask me to remove them. It'll be a sad thing to do, but sadly, that is it. And there you can see what I told you about this lime mortar. Lime mortar is a great thing, and I'll teach you about lime mortaring. It helps stone breathe. What a lot of people do is they come across a property like this with a lime mortar and the lime plastering, and what they do is they put concrete on it. Concrete is different. Concrete doesn't breathe. Concrete is a facility to waterproof and fix hard any stone. This lime mortar, after being here for hundreds of years, is still wet. It still has a wetness to it. And the idea really is, when you look at it, you will see it's amazing. Lime mortar, again, it's dating back so far. That's what we need to grade. The stone inside and the sand inside. You send that off to Scotland, they'll tell me exactly the mix of the mortar. It's vital when it comes to a property like this. Because when I'm putting that back on and I'm refixing and pointing up, there's a lot of pointing to do, but when I'm pointing up and I'm putting the stone back to its original foundation or its original condition, I will put it back with the original mortar. So there's no intrusive mortar going in. It's going to stay the same. Hopefully, I do believe that it's a local bed sand coming from the river, but we will try and see if we can mimic the same sand and the same grit. Okay, so this place is the 1800s. This is the 1800s. We'll go past this and I'll bring you to the other parts of the building.